What is up, guys, and welcome back to another TG podcast. It's been a long time overdue, but we are here. It's a great time to return as well. Life is good right now as Arsenal fans, top of the league. We saw Liverpool lose four in a row in the Premier League. Man City lose as well. Arsenal 22 points, great starts to the season. As much as people may say it's been boring. Arsenal set piece FC, the next Stoke City. We still find ourselves in a very good position, man. And it's great to be back with the regular panel. We're joined by Anthony over there from All About Arsenal in Nigeria. Anthony, how you been keeping, man? You been good?
Yeah, I've been awesome, man. Like right now, we're on top of the table. So anytime I cry, it's like rain to the other folks down there.
100%, man. 100%. We got Domination. He's back, man. He's back. I've missed Dom's optimism, and I've missed these, you know,
excuses.
I don't know about that, man.
Was it excuses, phases? I don't know why you guys are so optimistic. I mean, I've clearly seen a league table produced over the weekend, and we're clearly fifth. I don't know what because of set pieces, long throws, they don't count anymore.
Now, real talk though, I've missed the stat man. You get what I'm saying, or fact man.
Fact man, yeah, you had to correct my own nickname the other day, earlier today.
But how you been keeping, Dom?
Yeah, very well, mate. Very well. Good to be back. Good to see you guys again. Anthony, I haven't seen you in at least 24 hours.
Yeah. Yesterday was fun, though. Yesterday was fun.
Yeah. I failed to take anything seriously as usual.
But yeah, last but not least, Rory, how you been keeping, man?
Yeah, I've been good, so far this season, despite crashing out early on, I've... to be fair, it seems like Arsenal have been tuning in. So at the moment, I'm pleased with where we are, and long may it continue in it. So.
Yeah. Mikel Arteta's been playing Rory's videos in the dressing room, and it sparked him into
life. Before we do start, guys, make sure this is pre-recorded, by the way. So make sure you get your thoughts in down below. I'm going to try and upload. We'll do this weekly, if we can, and we'll upload it probably on a Tuesday. You'll watch this, so we'll do the preview a bit later on. So the Brighton game, because we do play it in the Carabao Cup. But we got a lot to talk about. I think our last podcast we actually did, guys, was the Man United game, first game of the season, where we won 1-0, and we weren't really convinced with the performance. And it's kind of been like that with majority of games this season, I'd say. But as I said at the start of the stream, we find ourselves top of the league. We're going to go through the Palace game. I think we started that first. A 1-0 win to Arsenal, a clean sheet, a goal from a set piece. Eze scoring against his former club, getting his first Premier League goal as well. I thought personally, I think it actually took till the 33rd minute for us to get the first shot of the game. I think it was that Trossard shot when the keeper saved. So I think Palace proved, obviously, with Oliver Glasner as manager, that he's very well organised. He's a great manager, to be fair, and he rocked up with the Emirates with a clear game plan, and they frustrated us. But the difference is we came out this season and we are finding a way to win these games, whether it is a set piece or not. And that's what we struggled to do last season with 14 draws, and Palace was a team that we drew 2-2 last season. Same with Fulham, and same with West Ham as well. And it seems to be a different sort of Arsenal this season where we are actually finding a way. And as I said, like if we play like this, guys, like set piece as much as every single person wants to cry about, if we win the league about it and play like this, nobody's gonna care, man. Like Arsenal fans, I'm sorry, we ain't gonna care. We have our first Premier League title since 21 years. That's all we care about. I don't care if we win the game. I don't care if we win it one game. But I'll start with you, Rory, bro. 1-0 against Palace. What do you make it overall, bro?
Well, firstly, the performance wasn't pretty by any means, but again, 3 points is all that matters. And of course, we had to score from a set piece. And Crystal Palace are a well-drilled side, and I think Sunday definitely epitomised, how good Crystal Palace really are and how they've stepped up a level from last season, despite them winning the trophy, of course. They were really tough to break down, and I'm glad that we've actually got a plan B in place in case, we can't break down these low blocks. Set pieces, innit? Like, that's why I put in my title yesterday, rest in set piece, innit? Because that's how it is with most teams. So, listen,
Nice. Love the pun.
yeah, everyone's part of the set piece pedantry. You get what I'm saying? And look, I'm glad that a lot of the players are sort of sharing the goals around as well. Like, we're not relying on individuals here and there. Like, we're relying not just on set pieces, which of course has been the focal point, but other players are chipping in. You got Eze scoring his first goal, well, in the Premier League, should I say, not last season, what am I on about? Yesterday. Gyökeres has chipped in with a couple. Saka's got a couple as well. So, yeah, it's good to see in that aspect. But obviously, we do need performances to step up. But if we do keep doing this and we are winning games of football, then of course, as you said, Josh, like no one really does give a shit. And just quickly on the crap about us and the fact we're boring and shit, then what are the opponents then? Because every single game I've watched Arsenal play, the opponents have pretty much sat 10 men behind the ball. So what are they if we're, labelled as Dark Arts FC, Set Piece FC, like every name under the sun we're called because of set pieces and the fact we don't play this expansive football no more, but neither did George Graham. So, like, if it gets us the Premier League title or just a trophy this season, then I don't really care, to be honest. And I think even rival fans are clocking in. They're like, well, I'll tell you what, there's no point complaining about it. It's just the likes of Sky Sports, Match of the Day, like, every one of them just tweeting to undermine Arsenal, the fact we are now top of the league and the amount of set pieces we've scored. I mean, let's be honest, like, no one has really set the world alight, have they, in the Premier League? Like, Liverpool haven't been playing this expansive football, neither has Man City. Tottenham have been, I would say, more boring than Arsenal so far this season. So no one's really set the league alight when it comes to football, like expansive football, because everyone's trying to sort of, what's the term? That they're trying to fucking copy Arsenal's strategy, and that is set pieces pretty much. And we saw that with Tottenham yesterday. So, listen, Eze's strike was excellent. The defence, I mean, there's not really much that needs to be said about Arsenal's defensive line. I mean, I thought, again, Timber was excellent. Saliba, although he played the first half, hopefully that's nothing serious. But, Mosquera came in, and to be honest, I thought the defence looked better when Mosquera came on, because at times we looked a little bit shaky in that first half, especially Saliba. But again, it may have been an injury, I'm not sure. Gabriel was a monster at the back once again. And then Calafiori, for the first time this season, like, I don't know, he played really well, but he wasn't venturing into oblivion this time. He was actually in his position, which actually surprised me a lot, and I thought he played really well. Raya again, I mean, like, I do feel sorry for the geezer because he just has nothing to do at this rate. You might as well lock up that golden glove because...
Rory, he's had his work from home application rejected this week. He's been told he's got to turn up for the game.
Oh,
Did you guys see that picture of Brian saying he wanted to work from home?
yeah. And the thing is, right, I remember, it may have been FOTMOB that counted Crystal Palace. The only shot on target they had in the game was Nketiah's header, which was caught by Raya.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was the only shot on target they actually counted, which I found incredible, to be honest with you. And the fact
I think it was a Tottenham fan that put that stat together to make sure we didn't go 3 in a row. I mean, he barely touched that header, right? I mean, it came in from the cross, and he basically, Raya punched it off Eddie Nketiah's head. Right?
Yeah, and the ball's going backwards anyway, away from goal. So I'm like, how on earth has that been counted as a shot on target, which was oblivious to me, but it is what it is. And to be honest, again, like, Crystal Palace didn't really propose much threat. Like, they had a few moments in the first half, but like nothing really. Arsenal didn't create much. in the first half. As you pointed out, Josh, in the opening 30 minutes, like it was frustrating. Like we had basically no shots.
Mm.
We didn't test Henderson once. Second half, like we probably should have scored at the start of the second half with yet another set piece to make it 2-0. But yeah, apart from that, like we didn't really create much. Like Saka had a quiet game. Trossard was okay. Gyökeres was all right as well. Yeah, like Zubimendi was sloppy. I thought Rice had a decent game. Basically, it's just all about, the defense and the fact we're able to unlock these low blocks with set pieces and then just stuff them out for the rest of the game. And the fact we have we conceded a goal in October? I don't think we have.
I think that was the first shot on target in October.
Yeah, something mad like that.
Yeah, and we've got to a point where Arsenal fans are actually fuming that we've conceded a shot on target than than actually conceding a goal, which is mental. But we'll take the 3 points, and Crystal Palace are a decent team, and they're going to cause many problems to other big six clubs. That's for sure. Like they did with Liverpool. So it was important that we needed to get the 3 points due to obviously Man City losing and Liverpool losing this weekend. And I've got to a point where I'm actually worried about Bournemouth and Sunderland more than bloody Liverpool and Man City. I don't want to, jinx it and that, but like that is the situation we've got ourselves in. Like Sunderland, I mean, we could be going into that game as, title favourites, for God's sake, against potentially our challengers, which is mental. And then Bournemouth, we don't play. I don't even know when we play Bournemouth. It may be.
Not until December, is it?
December, I think.
Yeah, it must be about December. But yeah, like overall, this is our title to lose, and there's no excuses whatsoever. We've got a January transfer window as well coming up. So, like, if Arsenal somehow fuck up this league title, then obviously I would still like us to win one of the domestic competitions, but if we have to win the Premier League from here, like 100%, because we have an opportunity to gain a little bit of distance away from the likes of Man City and Liverpool, especially when both of them are playing in the upcoming weeks. So,
just to correct on Bournemouth, it wasn't December; it was the 3rd of January.
I thought in January we play them. Okay, fair enough. Could we see another
Away
Leicester
or-
City, guys?
No,
what?
no,
Another Leicester City?
No.
No?
no.
Nah.
Nah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair
I mean,
enough.
these things happen. Only once has it happened in the entirety of the Premier League, because Blackburn Rovers don't count, because Blackburn Rovers spent an absolute fortune to win the title. Obviously, Sunderland they spent more than Blackburn, but that's because football finance has gone. But yeah, Leicester are the only one, and there's a reason why it's a once in a generation thing, right? It's not.
There we go.
I don't see that happening again, right? It was almost a perfect storm of everyone being absolutely dire that season, apart from Leicester, who also pretty much played the same 11 nearly every game for the entire season. It's a perfect storm, right?
Simpson, Hoot, Morgan, Albrighton, Mares, Drinkwater, Kante, Okazaki, and Vardy. They were just lucky injuries. That was one. Then, as Dom said, everybody around them were so messed up. Remember when Danny Welbeck had that header in February? That were just 2 points behind them. And
we done them 2-1. I remember, yeah.
And to be fair, they had a manager, Leicester, that is capable of competing. Like when Ranieri was at Chelsea, like he finished second, but he couldn't quite get over the line. But with a club like Leicester and players like Mahrez, Kante, Vardy at the time, yeah, looked like they were an excellent team back then. And it was probably down to the fact everyone else was crap. Like Tottenham were probably the closest competitors, but then again, they finished third that season. So
I mean, only Tottenham could finish third in a 2-horse race. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
You have to give credit to Leicester for the way they played that season, and it wasn't a fluke, but in many ways it's a bit like the Leverkusen stuff as well. They were obviously much better than Leicester City as a team, as a squad, but also everyone else imploded around them. as well. And that, again, you can't take anything away from either Leverkusen or Leicester. And obviously, Leverkusen way ahead of Leicester again, just to be clear on quality. People get slaughtered for that, but it's a one.
So obviously, I'll propose this question to Anthony, right?
Mm-hmm.
3 goals conceded, 1 open play goal still, isn't it, from the Haaland one so far this season? 5 clean sheets in a row now, Anthony, right? We're seeing Gabriel. I think that's Gabriel's 18th Arsenal goal, 19th Arsenal goal, right? I think he's a few away from, is it Koscielny's record of scoring as the highest defender of all time for Arsenal? I think Koscielny still holds it, right? So not only is our defense, it's been one of the best, and I've seen a lot of people, could it sort of match the Chelsea record? I think when they had Mourinho, wasn't it? And
It
they
was
conceded,
Mourinho.
was it 15 goals they conceded or something crazy like that?
15 goals, yeah.
So as at
15
when
goals.
Mourinho considered 3 goals, he had played 11 games. But we had considered 3 goals in 8 games.
Okay.
Yeah, and one stat that basically run mad was that in the Manchester United game, in the first game of the season, where we considered 22 attempts, no other team has played up to 10 attempts against us. Leeds, 3 attempts. Liverpool, 9 attempts. Nottingham, 5 attempts. Man City, 5 attempts. Newcastle, 8 attempts. West Ham, 4 attempts. Fulham, 9 attempts. Crystal Palace, 7 attempts. And in all these attempts, the maximum they've had is 1 shot on target. And as you know, if you consider a shot on target, we go bonkers, because as at this point in time, we are not used to that anymore. Like, this defense have improved leaps and bounds. And what makes me go nuts is the fact that when someone comes in to replace whoever was in the team, it's like that kind of stuff, We don't lose our level. Remember that time when Saliba suffered that injury against Sporting CP in the Europa League? We brought in Rob Holding, and that was the end. The team that was leading the Premier League for 248 days crashed 2-2 against Liverpool, 2-2 against West Ham, 3-3 against Southampton, then 4-1 defeat to Man City, and we just crumbled. But right now, the team is well focused on defending, and defending very well. You can see how they celebrate when they have a tackle that goes to a corner kick and stuff like that. And it's infectious, because if you look at the players ahead of them, Bukayo Saka had 15 defensive contributions in the Fulham game. The right winger. The same way Martinelli and Trossard work very hard on the left. Then in front of them, you have Zubimendi and Declan Rice, who you can actually have that confidence they can protect the back line as well. So this record is something that these players have earned, because they are a well-drilled side and they fight so hard for each other. And I'm not even surprised to see where we are right now. It's kind of very crazy to think about it. Only 1 open play goal, and that came from Erling Haaland, who is a sideboard. And in hindsight, if Gabriel had actually stayed back compared to going all the way up the pitch, maybe we could have considered that goal as well. But we need to just be careful as well, because we've had some close shapes. David Raya went crazy in the Atletico game, and Alvarez almost had an empty net, to score.
Raya's getting bored, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah, maybe the guy is getting bored, but I think this record is something that's going to stay. I believe that these guys will challenge that Chelsea record. It was 6 goals in Stamford Bridge and 9 goals away, which is 15. And people tend to forget that it was our record that Chelsea broke. We had 17 goals conceded before they broke it to 15. And I believe that we can do at least match them this campaign. What is important is for our guys to remain focused. Yes, we look more like a defensive side, but we still have a couple of flamboyant players that can do the Lord's work when required. See AJ going on Shaolin soccer, just to spread that ball in. And that's the kind of goal that he scored against us last season when Crystal Palace actually visited the Emirates. So that technique is there, and we have the players that can actually do very well when the time comes up. So for now, I'm very, very happy with the defense, and I'm very confident. Then the key thing now I've noticed that I've been having too many injuries. Saliba got injured against Liverpool, got injured again here, and we have to be mindful of it. Yes, Mosquera is quite good, but if it's something we can do to make, ensure that we don't have those injuries, we can keep trying our best. Or at least there's confidence in the fact that the player that can come in can also do a very decent job too.
Yeah, 100%, man. I'll throw this question to Dom. Looking at obviously the season so far, performances, we're getting these wins. A lot of concern about the performances still not sort of as attractive and free flying and all that. We're scoring many set pieces. Do you think this is sustainable to go all the way and win the Premier League title this season?
I think it's going to depend a lot on how teams play, right? I mean, if teams sit in behind, you're going to have to find ways to win, and the way you find ways to win has got to be to play more direct, play more of the percentage balls in, because you can't play those sort of silky little moves, sort of Arsene Wenger ball, if you like, because the space isn't there. And you've seen people criticising Eza, for instance, for not playing as well as he has at Crystal Palace, but I think at Palace he's used to the space. There just isn't the space in that 10 position. But Arsenal are trying to get more bodies forward. It's not like they're not attacking. They're definitely, getting players forward. We almost camped in teams' halves. So for all teams are going to sit back, and if they sit back, then the football's going to be more attritional. It's not going to be as fun to watch. And you're going to have to find a way to win. Arne Slot has been complaining about it in recent days and weeks. But, reality is right now, that's kind of the way the Premier League's going. And you've got to find a way to deal with it. We are, and at the moment they're not. But at some point, someone is going to come, they're going to nick a goal, and we're not going to find a way through. That will happen. But it's why we sign players like Eza for those moments of brilliance. It's why we signed Gyökeres, who I think will improve his goal scoring record. And we've got options off the bench to change the game if we need to. So I think we're going to win every game? No, but ultimately at some point, we've still got the ability to go and take it to teams. Atletico Madrid did not sit in against us. Well, they did slightly, but not to the same extent as other teams have. They left space behind, and what happened? We went and scored. As soon as we went in front, they tried to come out a little bit. Credit to them, but we ripped them apart. So it is a damned if you do, damned if you don't against us. But ultimately, when you look back, Jose Mourinho won championships winning this way. Alex Ferguson, his sides could be quite attritional at times, because if sides sat in against them, they had no choice other than to play the way they were. So I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happened over this season. But I said last season I thought Arsenal could win the league. I think obviously they didn't. But I think this year we look really, really well placed to do it. I think the squad obviously can handle the injuries better, and I think there's no surprise to see teams across the league strengthened in terms of numbers to this fact that squads are bigger than they've ever been now, because of the amount of football, and the stress on these players now is becoming more and more. And I think that's what sort of many sides took from last season. And Arsenal, I think, just look really, really well placed. And, would I like to see better football? Of course. I'd love to see us win the league playing Arsene Wenger style football. But ultimately, I'd rather just win the league. And ultimately, football is cyclical in the way it plays, right? We've gone from 4-4-2, lump it into the box, to more tick-a-tacker, to sort of gang press, to this style now. I mean, I got the order wrong, but you get the idea. That's just what happens, and that's where we are. And ultimately, it's going to be up to sides to stop us. And so far, only Liverpool can have done so.
Yeah, and just what Dom quickly said, last season when PSV Eindhoven tried to attack us, their home ground,
7-1, bro.
Smashed them 7-1.
With almost no forwards available.
Yeah,
was it Marino up front? I think, yeah.
Doing that, but there's already that fear that happens when you're about to play Arsenal because of the quality that we have. And I think maybe they are more scared of the fact that we kind of do a lot of set pieces. So they tend to just have that defensive approach going into the game to play like haram football or Satan football. But you see how the players that can actually kill off teams the right way if you have the opportunity to do so. But honestly, we don't care.
I think we're seeing Arsenal set up tactically. Obviously they have their idea of how they're playing, but they're not afraid to change it in games if they need to. They're not afraid to play in different ways. We're seeing that. You saw it against, as I say, Atletico was a sort of key one against Leeds as well. You saw it, but also you can see that we can play that slightly more pragmatic football. It's not what we want, is that 3-man midfield. But even if you change Odegaard for Moreno, say against Liverpool, because I think Odegaard was missing that day from memory, you could see Arsenal were being more pragmatic in the approach, and you can see different ways of playing. Now, obviously, I'm picking on a game there where we didn't win the game, but ultimately, you can see Man City is almost the ultimate, right? We're pragmatic to start with. That wasn't working. We changed to go more attacking. Arsenal, saw the game out against Palace, really, the last 15, 20 minutes, by going more pragmatic to make sure they saw the game out. You can sort of see Arsenal changing it up, and I think the fullbacks are key to that, because you can have players that can bomb forward, both go wide. Ben White and Calafiori primarily. I mean, Calafiori goes where he wants, but they can sort of get wider. Miles Lewis-Skelly, Urian Timber, sort of more your classic inverting. Again, that allows you to play really differently. Those fullback positions are going to be key. So Arsenal have many ways to win a game. And I think that sort of gives them a really good opportunity to go out there and win the league. And as Rory said earlier, Arsenal really very well placed at the moment to do it.
Yeah, and one key thing was that Pep had to adapt in that game against Man City, because as soon as he started becoming very attacking, he started taking out his attackers to bring in more defensive players, because he was trying to hold on to that win before we now got the late draw. But if he had used the same style to play us, I think we would have smashed them up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Pep Guardiola do that before, right? I mean, genuinely, I don't, and I think that's sort of credit to Arsenal. I mean, I think the biggest thing that can stop Arsenal this season, I think, Liverpool can. I mean, they've got a long way to go, but they're not as terrible as they've been recently. I said at the start of the season, in pre-season review, I thought City were missing some players, but you never know, because they've got Pep Guardiola, even though I don't think they're quite there. But I think the biggest thing that stops Arsenal is winning your first championship. Gary Neville talks about this a lot, and so do a lot of other players, is the hardest one to do. And, there is a legitimate question: can Arsenal and Mikel Arteta and these players get over the line for their first championship title? I think they can, but it is going to be a real thing come March, April. And we'll see how they handle it. I think they'll be fine, but, that will be almost, for me, the biggest question.
Sorry, the championship.
Yeah,
Sorry?
Championship.
As in I meant the Premier League, as in championship, as in a title, right? Not championship.
Yeah. But what we need to remember, guys, is that we have been passing some huge tests that we have faced. Newcastle being a terrible team against us, we won. Fulham, where we drew and lost last 2 seasons, we won. West Ham, that for some reason they just find a way to win us, we won. Crystal Palace, I think, basically one of the best teams in the league right now in terms of XG, we won as well. So if you look at all these results in isolation, you can see that this team has matured very well, and I think they can go all the way.
Yeah,
it's funny because I tweeted out. I think it was like, did the Premier League post something like our next 5 games, including West Ham? It may have been. I don't know if they included Champions League games. I don't think they did, but West Ham was in there, Crystal Palace, etc. And I predicted 15 out of 15, but I was also cautious at the same time, because there was always that given where we're going to drop points at home against one of the teams that we're expected to beat. Some obviously away from home, but obviously 2 were at home, innit? And I was, almost expecting us to drop points in at least one of West Ham or Crystal Palace, because that's what we've done last season. A quick word.
It's going to be Burnley that do it. You watch.
Well, to be fair, right, it's usually at home. We don't really have these sort of results away, if you know what I mean. It's always at home for some reason. So I just want a quick word on, the title, because this may sound bold, but I'm not really focusing title right now. What I mean by that is I'm just focusing on winning games of football to just gain some bloody distance before we eventually move into that crunch month. I would say around February, March time. Right now, we should not be looking anywhere near the bloody title. Right, despite us being top, we should be at least top come Christmas, and then come January and February, that's where you can start talking about title races. But for now, you don't win nothing in October.
Yeah.
I agree entirely,
You need
Rory.
some games of football. And right now, like, we got Burnley at the weekend. They've been okay this season, but again, like, we should be beating them. We should be gaining a lot of distance on Liverpool, Man City, especially when, like I said earlier, Liverpool, Man City are playing. Is it next week or is it this week? I can't remember.
It's next week, I think.
Yeah, next week. So we've got a great opportunity there. And then I believe we've got Sunderland away by the time Liverpool, Man City play. So these next 2 games are massive. and could determine like whether or not we can win the league or not.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
so
not inconceivable that they lose their next two games. Both, well, they can't both lose them because they play each other. But Liverpool have got Villa and Bournemouth. Bournemouth are playing City this weekend, so
Yeah,
they're not given. They're not sort of banker results. But at some point, Arsenal will hit a bump in the road this season. So I think you're
yeah,
absolutely right. The title, we can't be sort of talking about the title being done or focusing on that now. You can't win the title at this point. Silverware is impossible until February. That's the earliest you can win silverware.
yeah,
Um, you know, but you just as your point is exactly right, Rory. You want to just pick up as many points as you can
yeah,
and get those points on the board now, because
Yeah.
every team will hit a rut at some point. Every challenger will go and lose to a random side like Fulham or Brentford or Burnley or Leeds. One of those sides will pick up a random result because that's what happens in the Premier League. You just need to minimise them and try and get that momentum going, and that's where Arsenal are right now.
yeah.
yeah.
Like
So
the thing is, right? I don't have a sorry, Anthony. I was
sure,
gonna
sure.
say, right. I don't have a problem with Arsenal drawing, losing football matches before you lot jump on the bandwagon about, oh, well, this guy crashed out when Arsenal lost against Liverpool. Yeah, damn right I did, because we didn't go for the game. That was the real, like, annoyance with me about that Liverpool Arsenal game. Yes, we lost the game because of a bloody set piece. It was a worldy set piece, but the fact we didn't go for the game, we had all that creativity on the bench. But if we would have gone for Liverpool, then there would be no like overreaction whatsoever. And I would have gone, I tell you what, we at least tried to win the football match. That's all I ask for from Arsenal. If we lose or draw, whatever, right? But we're actually trying to win every single match as possible, then I don't mind. But if you're not playing to win, then that's where I do have a problem, and that's where you do see me bloody tearing my hair out because I'm just like, why? We're supposed to be challenging for the league, for God's sake. We should be playing to win every single game. I don't give a shit if it's Barcelona, PSG, whoever. Like, you play to win every single game. And that was my problem early on in the season against Man City as well. And that's something that I will praise Arteta for. It seems like he has actually learned from his mistakes. See, I can praise the manager, but these lot won't clip that up, will they? So,
Yeah.
I mean,
so
just really quick. I mean, I don't think we were trying not to win the games. What I think is that the Manchester City half-time thing was a bit of a actually, do you know what? Sometimes I need to, I hate the phrase, but release the handbrake slightly more and try and win it in a
yeah,
different way. I don't think he was trying to not win the game. I think he was trying to win the game, but what he was doing is trying to win it in a different way to maybe how we would ideally want him to go about doing it. But I think there has been that change, which I think is welcome from everybody, myself included, after that City game, which is actually, do you know what? Sometimes we've got the attacking ability to go out there and attack. We don't need to be so pragmatic. I mean, he doesn't see Mourinho as a defensive midfielder, but I think him as a more defensively minded midfielder. But he's not a
Yeah.
defensive midfielder. But Mourinho is seen by Arteta as certainly an attacking asset in a way I don't think many, including myself in the fan base, think he is.
Yeah,
I
but for
think
me,
he is an attacking
I have
option. I
a
would say.
question. The time
But
we
what I mean is he's not that creative player like an Eze
Nah,
or
nah,
yeah,
Ranieri.
yeah,
And I think that's kind
yeah,
of how he doesn't play in that way, but I think that's kind of in Arteta's mind is that he's that sort of attacking option. What he is for me is a physical box crasher from the 6'8" role rather than a 10.
yeah,
But
yeah, and
I think Arteta sees him more as a 10 when he plays in the midfield in that position, and I don't think
yeah,
that's
yeah, and like this is what I'm saying, right?
mm-hmm.
About oh well, I told you that he's a striker rather than a holding midfielder. Like people really said that he was a number six, number eight, whatever, right? When he's playing in midfield, I see him as a holding midfielder more than a number eight. But of
Yeah,
course, his best position right now is striker. So there's a difference
Yeah.
between his best position and his, I would say, best position in midfield, which is more of a holding midfielder than a
yeah,
number eight, if you ask me.
Mm.
So that's what like we're banging on about, not about his his best position and like what it is, because I think it's pretty clear that striker is his best position because he plays better whenever he plays there for Arsenal than in midfield. That's for sure. So I think
it.
that was my problem, and the fact he changed at half time almost it was almost like Arteta knew that it never worked, and he should have probably started the likes of Eze at the start of the game. and the fact he got an assist as well. And I think it was the comments as well after the game where he said, "Oh, we played better in that game than we did last season," something like that. So I think that was something that really like wound me up a little bit as well. So yeah, I think that's something I can praise Arteta for, the fact he's learned from his mistakes, and we are playing with the handbrake off a little bit. It's not perfect, but you know, he is allowing a couple of players to have a little bit more freedom. I'm seeing, you know, Saka, who had a quiet game at the weekend, but like I'm seeing
Yeah,
Saka against Atletico.
ill, though.
Say again?
Saka was actually ill.
Yeah, he was ill, to be fair. But you know what I'm saying is, after the Fulham Atletico Madrid game, despite not contributing to a goal and an assist, I'm seeing him look more dangerous, and he's creating chances. And he was man of the match, rightly so, against Fulham, because he was the best player on the pitch. But again, he didn't get GA, which he's not going to be credited enough for that, is he? So I think that's what he's like adding to his game, really, which is good to see. But about the striker, I mean, like we're going saying about Gyökeres, because I actually look. I think at the moment, right, I've been described as Gyökeres' lawyer. It's fair to say, and I'm defending him left, right, and centre. I'm saying this now, right? He could score. He could not score. Sorry, in the Premier League from now until the end of the season, win the league, and he would still do more than Havertz. That's just a fact.
Oh, okay, you and Havertz again.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Yeah, Havertz last season, when it was like crunch time, where we needed him to deliver, our striker, he missed 2 sitters against both Man United and Newcastle. Gyökeres at the moment, right? We've scored, I think, 5 from open play so far this season. Gyökeres has bagged 2 of them.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not really his fault that we're not creating chance. Yes, he's got to have more anticipation in the box, right? I think he's got to be more ruthless. He's got to be eager to get on the end of some of these crosses, because that's like what we bought him in for.
Yeah.
But at the same time, right, like, none of the strikers like who have come in from the big 6, it's fair to say, if they hit the ground running, like Isak for 130 million, has he hit the ground running? And he's the guy that everyone wanted this summer over Gyökeres, including myself. Like, Isak was the only one that I wanted over Gyökeres.
Yeah, but
and he's not hit the ground running.
Hugo Ekitike, they've been doing well.
I was going to say your boy Ekitike's done all right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. To be fair, but he was, I would say, my third option after, or fourth. But I mean, I wanted him over Sesko, that's for sure. Ekitike.
So my mention with Sesko was that Sesko felt kind of like Havertz to me. You know, like it was something a bit different. So I'm kind of glad we went for
I'm still very happy that we got Gyökeres. Like, and if you, I look at him, I feel for the guy, because he had like what? Did he even have a shot against Palace? I think he had 1 shot in the whole game against Palace.
Yeah.
It's becoming virtually impossible for him. There's no space for him at all, is there?
But he's trying to make stuff happen as well, I've noticed in some of these games. Like, I look at the Newcastle game when we obviously won that 2-1, and I was impressed with him. Like, he was trying to link up the play. He was trying to, move out wide at times. I think that obviously the Atleti game, he ended up getting a brace. But there's just nothing really going for him in terms of, is it the way how we play, guys?
No,
probably is.
The quality of Portugal compared to England, like,
I get that as well. The league is completely different,
like, I know he has so much space, and I think the way Sporting CP played for him, he was like all in all. He was everything to them. They gave him basically all the chances, and he also bagged a lot of penalties as well. And here at Arsenal, we have a penalty. Saka grabs the ball against West Ham. So I just feel that Gyökeres is someone that he needs to be a bit more calm, because the chances he gets sometimes he just fires it without even thinking twice. Like against Fulham now.
That's down to him. The ones against Fulham, Anthony, is the ones where you got to look. I remember the one, I think he's through on goal, wasn't he, or something, and he hit it straight like Leno. Like, that's down to him.
I think that was an unlucky chance, to be fair. It's like one of them where You know, he went for power over precision, I would say, but still.
Well,
I still think that he's had moments where, as a striker, you know, like he needs to be more clinical in that sense. But at the same time, I kind of do feel for the guy, man. And
because if you look at someone like Haaland might have
yeah,
just maybe 20 touches in an entire game, but he
yeah,
scored a hat.
but it will score a hat
Because
trick. Yeah,
Yeah,
the small chance he manages to get, he bags it.
I
And that's
think
where the quality comes in.
I think for me on Gyökeres, right, I think he's a good signing. He's the man that I wanted. Um, but he's got to adapt to the league, and Arsenal have got to adapt to him, and he's got to adapt to Arsenal, and that's starting to happen. He's missed some chances, but all strikers do. You know, I mean, I agree that the criticism of Gyökeres is daft. He's occupying defenders. You're looking at Saka now being marked 1-on-1 quite often rather than 2-on-1 like he was last season because Gyökeres is taking a striker
yeah,
away, and that's why he, for me, is the upgrade on Havertz. Well, I do disagree with you, though, Rory, is that, you know, he does nothing for Havertz. Havertz's record still as Arsenal is just shy of 1 goal every 2 games, like 2.1, a goal every 2.1 games. That
Yeah.
is what you'd expect a Premier League striker to do. They are very, very different strikers, and I think Gyökeres' style is helping us get further forward up the pitch. But I think in those big games, there is an argument that Havertz actually does help you create more because of the way he plays. But you know, you are right that Havertz is not clinical enough. He does miss those big chances. All strikers do. But Havertz is definitely his big issue as a striker is he's not in the box enough, and that's partly tactical, but also that he will be a striker that needs 3 chances to score one. And I think once Gyökeres settles, that will go down to more of a 1 in 2.
Yeah.
But I think Havertz has a role to play, and I think Havertz is a player for me that is much maligned, but Arsenal, as I've always maintained, were right to look to upgrade him in the summer. That's what you want to do.
yeah.
do you think that when Havertz comes back, Dom, he goes straight back in the team over Gyökeres? If
I think
Gyökeres wasn't scoring,
I think I think he will go back into the team regardless of how Gyökeres does, just
okay,
because I think Gyökeres will need a game or two's break. I think it will be a sort of. I think when he first comes back, I suspect Gyökeres will start and then come off around the 65 minute mark to get him match fitness. But I think when Havertz is ready to start, I think he will come in for a couple of games just to get Gyökeres a rest, but also to get Havertz's minutes up. I think that will be almost regardless of who we're playing. That will happen. But I think once both are fit, I think Gyökeres will still start the majority of games. But
Mm.
I think against opposition where you want to try, where you've got a really good defence, but one that will sit deep, say Manchester United or Crystal Palace, they're decent defences. They're not brilliant, but they're good defences, right? But they will sit deep. Whereas, say, Liverpool and Manchester City will probably hit that bit higher. You probably want Gyökeres for the in behind. But when you want to pull those good defences up, that's where Havertz will potentially move them that little bit further up the pitch. That then creates room to get Martinelli or Saka or another runner in behind. I think you'll see tactical sort of use of them. But if you wanted to say who's the starting number 9 for Mikel Arteta, it will be Victor Gyökeres.
Yeah. Another thing just to quickly add is that Arteta has a team that he can trust. Back in the day, it was either Reece Nelson or Ryan Sterling or some dead guys like that. But right now, it's going to be on a game by game basis. As Don rightly said, there'll be some kind of games that you will need Gyökeres, and there'll be some kind of games you need Kai Havertz. We saw it against West Ham, where he decided to bench Zubimendi to play Eze and Odegaard as the eights with Rice behind them. That was because of the fact that obviously it was Nuno joining them. There was going to be a serious low block, which has always been our kryptonite. But Arteta right now, for each game, he's going to show that he can adapt to the opposition. Some games you see Trossard, some games you see Martinelli. But I'm sure that if Madueke and Saka are fit, he'll find a way around that as well.
yeah, no, definitely.
Do you think, Josh, that Gyökeres just needs a little bit of a rest? Do you think it's sort of some of his form at the moment? I think we probably all agree it's adaptation, but do you think there's a little bit in there about him just needing a little bit of a rest? You know, we'll probably do the Brighton preview, but is he one of the
Yeah,
players that, you know, maybe just needs a match off just to get a little bit of fatigue out of the body?
I think so, man. I think so, and then yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it in just a minute in terms of the lineups, what we do for Brighton. But I would give him a rest for the Brighton game and have him, you know, ready to go for Burnley. But I also think personally, in my opinion, when Havertz comes back, you'd hope that will give him a bit of competition there as well for that striker spot. Like he knows that Havertz out injured now, and he's fine. He's playing week in week out. But when he comes back, and we know how much Arteta, sort of rates Havertz. We've seen him implement him in midfield. It's like he's adopted son Anthony, man. Like that plays him year in year out, man. Anywhere as well he'll play him. So maybe that will give Gyökeres a bit of fire in his belly, like I've got to step up, otherwise I'm going to be dropped, sort of thing.
Just as long as we don't see him playing the 8 role, we'll be all right?
Yeah, you've just touched on the fact he could play midfield, right? Do you think he will start both Gyökeres and Havertz? Because there's a possibility, right? Like Eze scored at the weekend, but he's not obviously set the world alight, has he? So could you see, I don't know, Gyökeres, Havertz in behind in that 10 role, and then Saka?
Yeah.
Could you see it happening?
Because look, was it when we played Odegaard, and when Odegaard played there last season, Havertz played alongside him.
Mm-hmm.
They played like when we're off the ball, it was those two the sort of ones pressing the whole time, wasn't it? Odegaard and Havertz the whole time.
Yeah, to be fair, I can actually see it. So despite Gyökeres and that, and the fact he's not really again setting the world alight, he still scored goals. Don't get me wrong; he's like one of our top scorers, if not our top scorer, right, along with Martinelli so far this season. But I can see it honestly being, once Havertz is back to full fitness, I can see it being Havertz back in midfield in the 10 and then Gyökeres up front.
I think
until Odegaard comes back from injury, obviously, because
I think there'll be games where that happens, Rory. I mean, Eze as well, he's another player got to adapt, because there isn't that space, as I was talking about earlier, that there is when you're at Palace. But I think Eze has settled quite well, and I think, will prove to be an acquisition. It says the man that loves Eze, like a second son. But I think there will be games like that. If you're playing Burnley at home or Leeds at home, those sort of games, Arsenal almost might well go 2 up front, because you don't necessarily need the 2 sitters, and you can sacrifice the 10 for that, and you can almost go, we're going to go 2 up, almost 2 10s, but one's almost like that second 9, because Havertz does work hard on the defensive side as well, so he can sort of offer you that. And almost go single pivot 2 10s. We could well see that in some games, but I think mostly we'll see them in rotation, Gyökeres and Havertz, because Odegaard ultimately, while he had an off season last season, still links that midfield and attack better than any other player in our squad.
Yeah. Right. Let's go on, Anthony.
Oh yeah, I think that competition is very important. When Miles Lewis Kelly was cooking last season, right, we allowed Zinchenko and Tierney to build the club. And he signed a new contract, was very confident. Then Calafiori comes in this season, becomes our chaos merchant, and beats every game. But Miles Lewis Kelly had an opportunity to prove himself again against Atletico, and we saw what he did. So I think Gyökeres needs that. He needs Havertz to come back to, bring the best out of him. If not, you're going to stay on the bench, man. Straight up.
Yeah. That's exactly my point, what I was saying as well. I 100% agree with you, man. Let's move, obviously, to the game on Wednesday. Different competition, Carabao Cup, last 16. Home to Brighton, Premier League opposition, a good side, a young manager in Hertzler. I think he's done well with them. Some good players in there. Obviously, they done us a few years ago, didn't they, in when we was in the title race that first season, when we was 8 points clear, and I think it was like Matoma and all that, and they done us 3-1 in the Carabao Cup.
We've got an awful record against Brighton.
Yeah, it's one of those teams, isn't it, man? Like, they caused an upset against Arsenal. So we definitely got to, it's going to be a tough game. But I did a preview earlier. I was saying, like, even how good our squad is, with all the rotation that we can do, I still think that, and we do the lineups in a minute, I think the squad that we can rotate can take us all the way in this competition. And I really want Arsenal to go all the way and win this competition. Obviously, like the last time we won it is when we had George Graham, wasn't it? When he did a double with us, Sheffield Wednesday, FA Cup and Carabao Cup.
Steve Morrow.
Yeah. So, and I think it was called, what is it? Coca-Cola Cup. It was named back then, Dom.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. You're asking me because I'm old. Is that what you're saying, Josh?
No. I didn't mean it like that, man. I didn't mean it like that.
Well, you weren't wrong. I mean, I was 8.
But yeah, obviously, like, I mean, that long ago, right? And when we had George Graham as manager. We haven't. Why is there such a bad echo as well now? What is going on? Hold on. Is that good? Yeah, we're good. I don't know what's going
It's
on.
better now.
It's better now. Yeah, when we had George Graham, that's the last time we won this Carabao Cup. Like, we don't read. We've won it twice in history, man. It's a competition that we don't really take it seriously enough. You know, under Wenger, we lost to City in the 2018 final. We got battered 3-0. We all remember the Burnham and City one, you know, in
2011,
2012.
horrible, man.
Oh, horrible, man. Absolutely horrible. But I guess Wenger kind of made up for it because he got the FA Cups in the bag. But under Arteta, you know, it's been early exits. I mean, we got semi-finals last year, but when it really mattered against Newcastle over the two legs, we got absolutely schooled, didn't we, for being real with it? So
Yeah.
it's one of those competitions where we don't really take seriously. But the finals in February, March, and what this would do to win the competition, people call it Mickey Mouse Trophy and all this, yeah. And yeah, it probably is the lowest out of the four, but I still see it as a trophy, man. And
Yeah,
this
you
team for me
guys,
needs to.
they actually need a trophy.
They need
A
a
trophy.
trophy, exactly. They need this team needs to win together, you know, and that will give us. I feel like the momentum to go all the way. If we'll still be in the Premier League title race, you know, touch wood, and then Champions League as well. You know, we get the trophy, you know, a Carabao Cup in the bag. We're like, hold on a minute, this team's won together already. Let's go and win. And I think when Pep did it at City, like man won 3 in a row of the League Cup or something like that. I think that was his first trophy at Man City, if I'm not wrong, was the League Cup.
Yeah.
So hopefully we do go all the way. And obviously we'll talk about the lineups in a minute. We'll do it all together actually. But I'll start with you first, Anthony. Man, what's your thoughts going in on Wednesday, bro? How you feeling?
Okay, so yeah, I'm kind of confident, but I also want us to rotate in a sensible way. You know, obviously we have this depth now to handle it. But there's still some players I would still like to see, even if it means them starting and coming up at halftime or something. Yes, I know Burnley is important, but Brighton is a team that has been a thorn in our flesh for a very long time. They've always had some results against us, even in our home grounds. It's not a case of, okay, we are going to play Brighton away. Even when they come to the Emirates, Brighton tends to always get some annoying results against us. So I would like to see Kepa Arrizabalaga. He's someone that needs some games. But my main aim for that for tomorrow night is, or Wednesday night, sorry, is for Arteta to select a squad that has the confidence to win the game. Because Brighton are rocked. You know, they have already been winning Manchester United for many seasons in a row, only to lose 4-2. So yeah, we can actually latch on to that. And their squad is not as strong as it used to be. So it's actually a beatable team, and I believe that we have the confidence to go all the way because there are folks in this team that can only get the minutes they can ever have in the Carabao Cup. Someone like Nogard. It's going to be very difficult for someone like Nogard, despite being a very experienced player, to feature in the league because of Mendy, because of Rice and stuff. So this is the kind of competition that we need to go all the way to February and win the damn thing. And if these guys win this trophy in February, as you rightly said, they'll be galvanized to want to now make it a double or a treble, depending on what is going on. Our priority remains the Premier League, no doubt, but I want us to also win one of the domestic cups as well.
Yeah, well said, man. Don, what's your quick thoughts on before we get in the lineup? Your thoughts coming into the game against Brighton? You know, obviously a team that, as you said earlier, can definitely upset us, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always nervous when you play Brighton. I think they're just one of those sides that sort of the way their strengths are suited to unlocking us, and that always makes it a nerve-wracking game. But of course, Arsenal will be and should be confident going into this game. They are better than Brighton, but that doesn't mean that you win all these games. But it's a difficult one in my mind because on one level you do want to rotate for this one because you had the injuries at the weekend to Martinelli, who I think will almost certainly miss out tomorrow. Saka's been ill. Rice, Saliba, and Calafiori all got knocks against Palace at the weekend. So do you want to rest them or not? But then you've got Zubimendi, Gyökeres also in need of a rest. You're in Timber as well. But if you're making 8 changes, you risk losing to Brighton if they go strong. So it's going to be a really difficult one for Mikel Arteta to deal with. And Arsenal will want to do well in this competition. You rightly point out our record isn't good in domestic cups entirely. FA Cup's been a little bit unfortunate. We've lost to sort of decent sides, really. But Arsenal ultimately should be doing better than that. but they have a squad now to be able to do that. In the past, I think Mikel Arteta chose the league over the domestic cups because he felt he didn't have the squad to go deep in all competitions. So, I don't think he binned them off, but he took more chances. So really interesting to see what he does here. But Arsenal, for me, if they can win the Carabao Cup this year, as you rightly pointed out, springboard for many a manager in the past, including Pep Guardiola. And we've seen sides that have actually gone and lost League Cup finals, including that year we lost to bloody Birmingham City. Our season almost imploded after that. It can have
Yeah.
that effect. So, Arsenal, if Arsenal can win that silverware, to the points that have just been made in February, I think that goes a long way as well. I know this sounds daft, but goes a long way to answering the question, can we get over the line and win stuff? And I think it also settles the nerves around and takes some of the pressure off. Obviously the League Cup isn't a Premier League, but just in the player's mind, we've got silverware, we've got over that hump. And that might make them relax in a good way to help them in the Premier League run in, which is obviously the one we'd rather win by a long shot. So that's how important I think the League Cup is this season, bizarrely.
Yeah, facts, man, for sure. Rory, how confident are you coming into this game, man, on Wednesday? And how important is it for Arsenal to go all the way in the Carabao Cup as well, would you say?
Yeah, to be honest, I've never looked forward for 4 to 5 years. I've never looked forward to playing a Premier League opposition, whether that be in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. I just don't really feel that confident. I get, the squad now has bulked up a lot and we have the capability of rotating, but I don't know. Even recently, we've not really set up to win these sort of games in the Carabao Cup. You get what I'm saying? Even Port Vale wasn't really, that convincing, and they're in League Two, so. Or I think they're in League One, I believe. I don't know, but
They're near the bottom of League One. Although I don't think we
yeah,
ever tried to get out of first gear. I think we just did enough to get through that one. But
yeah. So going into this one, I mean, Brighton haven't really started the season that well, to be honest with you. So I reckon this could encourage them more, because this is their only shot they've got of winning a trophy this season or getting far in the competition. With Arsenal, right? I mean, I'm looking at the fixtures. You got Liverpool, they're playing Crystal Palace, so one of them two are going out. And then Newcastle playing Tottenham, so potentially one of them two will be going out as well. So this is an opportunity for Arsenal to really go far in this competition as well. Even with our second string players, we should be beating Brighton at the Emirates, and it's important that we win this competition come February, because it will instill winning mentality to then kick on for the rest of the season. I've always said this, Jose Mourinho, when he first came, well, I think his second stint at Chelsea, he won obviously the Carabao Cup, and then they won the league. As you said, Pep Guardiola, his first trophy at Man City was the League Cup. So it can instill winning mentality in your team to then, get over the line with other trophies, such as the FA Cup, as we've seen, the Champions League, the Premier League. And you may laugh because, it's the Carabao Cup. Look at the state of it, but it's a trophy. And you're seeing armpits at the end of the day, at the end of the season. Whether or not you win the Premier League, whether you win the Champions League, one of the two major honours, you've still had a successful season regardless, even if you don't win one of the two big trophies. So, it's important for us to win this competition as well as the FA Cup. We should be prioritising to win every single competition if possible with the squad we've got. So, listen, against Brighton, it's not going to be an easy game. Brighton are going to stick it on us. And they're not going to be afraid to play. But, at the same time, we should be beating these lot with the squad we've got, because it's capable of going far. And especially with the players as well that we could have coming off the bench if it does go wrong. If Brighton, say for instance, they start a strong team, they won't really have many game changers on there. So yeah, I'm hoping we win the game, man. And actually, I don't know who Chelsea and Man City have got in the Carabao Cup. I've completely forgotten.
Man City has Swansea. Chelsea has
Swansea.
Oh, I know Chelsea
Wolves as well. Yeah, Wolves.
Wolves.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be Chelsea, Man City.
So
will
they're
go.
both going through.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. But Newcastle and Tottenham, and then obviously Liverpool and Crystal Palace. Liverpool obviously not in great form at the moment. So like we've got an opportunity here to go far in this Carabao Cup. If we gain distance at the top of the Premier League, and then we're having a decent run in the Champions League, I guess, and then the FA Cup back in January, then I'll look at it and go, yeah, maybe the Carabao Cup, you can leave that on hold. But like if the Premier League is mathematically, although to be fair, the Premier League's not done until May time, innit? But if we aren't, let's say, if we are, I would say 2 points ahead of whoever in second place in the Premier League, and then in the Champions League we're just about scraping through, then yeah, you could say perhaps the Carabao Cup could be a competition that we could go far in and prioritise mainly. But yeah, like right now, I want to win every single competition. And yes, I know you could say, oh, well, Arteta, it's been 5 years, like, you're only settling with the Carabao Cup. I don't really care, to be honest. Just win a bloody trophy and then you can stay at the football club. That's all I've pretty much asked for from this manager. So
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get into
just really quickly, Josh. I'm a bit worried about where the shirt sleeves are going. Because Rory will see those armpits.
Say that again.
Well, my mic's not working very well, but Rory's talking about seeing armpits. What happened to the shirt sleeves? Aren't they covering them? I was being a pedant, don't worry. Yeah, FIFA banned shirtless sleeves.
Oh, maybe spilt my water as well.
Fun fact for you: FIFA banned shirtless sleeves after I think Cameroon tried to wear them in some national match.
Yeah.
They wore it to the Nations Cup in Africa, and they were allowed to wear it. So they thought they could try it in the World Cup, and FIFA just hit them up real quick. So they have to change it.
There you go. Yeah. Don't worry, we're bringing them back if we win the Carabao Cup. You can cut that, by the way.
One thing I want after this game, I would like us to play the winner between Wrexham and Cardiff.
Yeah, Wrexham and Cardiff are still in it as well. Yeah, and then because it's obviously quarterfinals next, isn't it?
No, I want Grimsby.
Only a few rounds. Oh, Grimsby, yeah,
they're playing there as well. Brentford might win them.
Grimsby is still there as well, to be fair.
Yeah, as are the other Swans. Are they Swans? Wickham? Is it a swan on their badge? I can't remember.
Wickham's there as well.
Wickham's still there. I don't know if it is a swan on their badge, but
there we go. But yeah, let's get into the team selection, guys.
Some kind of funny bed though.
We'll all do it together. So I'll go position by position. Goalkeeper, I think we can all agree is going to be Kepa, right?
Yeah,
it's got to be
Kepa.
Yeah, it has to be Kepa.
Yeah, so Kepa in goal. Obviously played against Port Vale. Quiet night for him.
Did he touch the ball?
Yeah,
I think he touched the ball with his feet, but not with his hands.
Yeah,
he was buzzing with a clean sheet.
He was so bored.
He looked all right in pre-season, so hopefully we see him again. I'm sure he will.
Mm-hmm.
Right back, Ben White or Timber?
White?
I would rest Timber for this one.
White.
I agree.
Yeah, I'd say Ben White. I think Ben White's more than good against his former club as well. So
yeah, and White needs minutes. I know Timber is in awesome form right now, but White needs minutes as well.
But I don't know. Like at the moment, you can't really predict whether Ben White's going to be in the starting 11 for these sort of games because like these setbacks are just mad.
No, but can you really blame him? If you remember when we played against Man City 2 seasons ago, he had a hamstring tear, but because of Trossard's red card, he had to play. So that surgery that he went for was very important, and it's very evident that he hasn't fully recovered. But at the same time, Timber had an ACL injury. And if you remember last season, he was also struggling too with his fitness. And beginning of the season, he also went for an ankle surgery as well. So we need to manage his minutes. I think we need White in this position.
Yeah, no, I do like Ben White a lot, man. It's just a shame with his injury setbacks because I think on his day he's absolutely top class.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully he can get back fit and get some minutes in because, as you say, he's a great player and he's also just loves a bit of. He's such a one for the fans to get behind, isn't he? Just because of the way he plays and the way he sort of seems to enjoy himself on the pitch, causing all sorts of mischief.
And I also miss his dark arts. In corner kicks, in White that goes to the goalkeeper and just makes the guy.
He's a shit house, wasn't he, Ben White, as well, man?
Saliba hasn't been doing that dark arts very well in corner kicks.
A player after my own heart.
Right, the two centre backs, I think, drop Gabriel and Saliba for this one. I'd actually go Mosquera in there and Nkapie, yeah. I don't know about.
I think dropped is a harsh word, to be honest.
Rest, I think, was.
Sorry, rest. My bad. Rest.
And have glass full, have glass empty. Drop rest.
I don't think I think if there's any doubt about William Saliba, he obviously doesn't play in this game, right? But for me, if you're making two changes already there, and I'm going to make a change at left back as well, with the doubt over Calafiori, I'm gonna go with Gabriel and Mosquera. I think changing your entire back four to decide Brighton's quality is asking for trouble. You're also changing your keeper as well.
Yeah, but the question
I think I'm keeping Gabriel.
Where will you ever have a chance to play Nkapie? This is the game you need to play.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
The thing is, right, Gabriel hasn't trained all week, has he? So,
yes.
Yeah, before the Palace game, he hasn't trained all week.
He got through 90 minutes. What I do here, I go these two, and Miles Lewis-Skelly at left back, and then Gabriel. And then against Burnley, I take Gabriel out of the team, and that's where I play Nkapie.
No.
Nah,
that is too important to play against Burnley compared to Brighton.
I think I genuinely would have concerns about changing my entire back four.
But the back four is good enough.
I think that back four is still strong enough, though.
Yeah,
it's obviously like rotating the attack. Like that's like my concerns.
Like this back four now of Lewis-Skelly, Nkapie, Mosquera, and White can actually play some Premier League teams comfortably.
I hear you on that, but you're basically playing White, who's played any minutes this season, and Nkapie. Coming in. Miles Lewis-Skelly looked like he could just slot right in when he played there. Mosquera obviously is, but firstly, I don't see Arteta making 4 changes to the back four. But that I just have Gabriel in there just for that little bit of leadership in the defence when you've basically got 3 players that have not played significant minutes. Mosquera obviously played the most out of them.
Yeah,
that's why I do it.
I agree, but then again, remember that Arteta mentioned it to us that Gabriel did not train. He needs some rest.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it has reminded me. It has reminded me that Nkapie has come back from an injury as well. So,
if there is any doubt about Gabriel, then of course you make the change as well. Basically, I think you. But I don't drop both Saliba and Gabriel unless they both are not fit. If there's a risk, or there's always a risk in any game, but you know what I mean. If the medical staff are saying it's a close call, then you don't take the risk for this game. But if one of them is fit, then I start one of them and I don't make all 4 changes.
But
to be fair, I would start Gabriel then.
Yeah, we can all agree that Mosquera goes in as well.
Mosquera has some experience too. Remember, guys, he has played some valuable games and has gotten to the hang of things. He can play well alongside Nkapie.
I agree. I mean, I think if Saliba starts and it's and not Gabriel, then it's Nkapie that starts and Mosquera misses out. But I think one of Saliba or Gabriel, if fit, starts this game just for that leadership in the back. And that's not a slight on Nkapie or Mosquera, but it's more of how good and how valuable those starting 2 centre halves are.
Okay, so Josh, at this point, I think we need to vote.
I'm thinking in the mind of Arteta, and I'm with Dom in that sense. I don't see Arteta changing the whole back four. It's unlike him to do that. I think I think he would go with Saliba or Gabriel, and obviously not together. I don't think. I think he'll go with a Mosquera in there, and I do hear where Dom's coming from. Personally, I would remind
myself as well that Nkapie has come back from an injury as well.
Something has come to my mind right now.
I still think this would be a good game to give me a start, man.
Yeah, so
maybe if we want to take the Carabao Cup seriously, though.
Yeah, what's wrong with Nkapie playing then?
No, as I said, right, he's just come back from an injury, hasn't he? So,
So how about playing Hincapié as a left back?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Skelly in midfield.
Great shout, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
that could be a shout, but I don't see Arteta doing it.
I was going to say it's an option I would look at, because I think if you're going to leave out Declan Rice for that, you could play Miles Lewis-Skelly midfield. If I was managing his side now, that'd be something I'd be looking at here. But that's not going to happen. But Miles Lewis-Skelly almost plays in midfield when he plays at left back as Calafiori, right? But but Mikel Arteta, I wouldn't be shocked to see Timber start, by the way, if he's forced to change Saliba and Calafiori. I wouldn't do it. I'm saying I wouldn't be shocked, because Mikel Arteta always goes stronger than we think he will in these competitions.
Yeah,
he does, to be fair.
Yeah, true.
So left back, who are we saying? Lewis-Skelly or
Lewis-Skelly.
Yeah, I'll go Lewis-Skelly. But then again, like, who else goes to midfield? Like, you're going to have to play Declan Rice in there, who came off injured.
But he had a knock, right? And
but like, is it worth taking the risk playing him when?
I don't think it's worth taking the risk. What I would do, I would rather play Hincapié as a left back, so that Kelly can be a body in midfield, because right now we're running out of bodies in that midfield. Zubimendi also needs a rest. If you remember, after he came off international break, he also trained for a couple of days too, because trying to manage his load.
Yeah.
I really wish we were playing like a Wrexham or something, so we can bring some of these younger lads from the.
I think we could see Marino back in the midfield for this one, and Norgard.
But then who plays up front though?
No, I think I'll need Marino as a centre forward.
You play Marino up front.
Rest.
I would love to see Martinelli up front, but I didn't realize what Dom said. Like he's going to be doubtful for the game.
He came off with a muscle injury.
Yeah, he did.
I think he's out for this one. Obviously, what we don't know, Arsenal haven't said anything and won't say anything. Let's be honest.
Yeah. But some fans said that they saw him limping after the game. I don't think he's able to play.
Whereas Declan Rice walked off the pitch absolutely fine. In fact, almost bound down the tunnel.
So midfield, I think one player gets this. Ethan's got to get in straight away.
Ethan for me starts at the 10, because I think he needs some minutes. And I
needs some minutes at 6.
Yeah, Norgard does. I think you can get away with starting Norgard in this one, because obviously Premier League experience in it. And...
Norgard is going to be your upgraded El Neni, isn't he? Really, which is that 6, 7 out of 10. Do you know what I mean? That's his place in the squad. Does absolutely nothing wrong. He will sit at the base of that midfield and just do your basics. Win the ball, like someone better than him. Also known as the Don Palmer special. Win the ball, give it to someone better than me. I think he comes in, and then I think it's a question, and I think it's a total fitness thing here. Zubimendi or Rice, it's fitness. I think Rice, although I was talking today about the 3 injuries, how there's less of a worry if these players are injured compared to last season because of the quality. And we were talking about Hincapié and Miles Lewis-Skelly, coming in if there were injuries to Saliba and Calafiori, and obviously options in midfield. But I think whichever one of Rice or Zubimendi is fit starts this one. And I think that I wouldn't be shocked to see Zubimendi, say, miss Wednesday and Rice miss Saturday, or the other way round. And I think that would be the sensible thing for Mikel Arteta to do, to give both of them play one of the 2 games, but not both from the start.
Couldn't we see a possibility what we did against Port Vale and play Ethan and Eze together?
We could do, but I think if you're making that many changes at the back, I don't see him then making 3 more changes in midfield, unless he genuinely thinks he can make 10 changes and beat Brighton, which he could. But that's a lot of disruption to the side. And if we did what Arnie Slot's asking, which is Brighton submit their team sheet 48 hours beforehand, their tactics, then you can pick your side, right? But we don't know what Brighton are going to do, and I think as such, when you don't know what they're going to do, and I think if you've got Norgard as that single pivot, against Brighton, I'm not sure on that, so I think it's going to be a double pivot.
Okay, so Zubimendi comes in.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's Rice actually.
Rice.
Yeah, but I would go Zubimendi though, to be honest.
Yeah, Zubi.
I think Zubimendi would be the preference.
Rice, I think we should put Lewis-Skelly in midfield and bring Hincapié to left back.
Yeah, Arteta won't do that though. I mean, I think Zubimendi should play this game just on a tactical. If you're dropping one of Rice and Zubimendi for this game and then dropping the other for the Burnley game, I'd rather have Rice against Burnley for his physicality and Zubimendi against this game to play the ball through the Brighton lines. But I think that decision will be purely based on the medical assessment. I really genuinely do, and we don't have that information.
Okay,
so I think that's the right choice, Josh.
So Don, right now, if you put Rice in the Burnley game, and you put AJ as well, who will you top midfielder?
So I think Eza starts in there. I think you can probably go single pivot with Rice in a single pivot against Burnley, to be honest with you. But I think it will be a double pivot, and I wouldn't be shocked to see Moreno and Rice against Burnley with Eza back in the 10. But I think you could do 2 10s against Burnley. I really do. But I don't think we'll see it. Again, it's what I would do versus what I think Arteta will do, and I think there is a slight difference.
Could we also see...
He played Eze and Odegaard, didn't he?
Yeah.
West Ham until Odegaard got injured.
So... Could we see Arteta play Marino in the midfield and put Gyökeres up front again, just so Gyökeres gets more goals?
I don't think he will, you know.
Yeah, but Gyökeres needs to rest. He has played so many games, and we haven't been able to sub him. He's been 90.
So it's going to be Marino up front then?
Yes,
I think it will be Marino.
Strike in this game.
Okay. See, if Marley was fit, I would play him up front all day long for this type of game.
If Martinelli was fit, I would too in this one. But I'm assuming Martinelli isn't fit.
We'll go Marino.
The other option here, Josh, is that you go Moreno in midfield instead of Norgard.
Yeah.
And Gyökeres starts this one. And then, again, similarly as I was talking with Zubimendi and Rice, against Burnley, Moreno starts up front and Gyökeres rests. You know, as in Moreno, I think, starts the next 2 games. One in for midfield for Rice or Zubimendi, and the other in for Gyökeres. I think Moreno starts this one and the next one. But I don't know which way around he's going to do it.
Yeah. So, but I have a question. Last season, when we had all those injuries, right? Waneri played on the right-hand side. Trossard Martinelli played on the left, and Merino played on the center forward. If Arteta trusted Martinelli enough, he might have given him a couple of games as a center forward, but he did not. So, in as much as we understand the concept of Martinelli playing as a center forward, I don't think our manager trusts him enough to put him there.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. This is interesting. Right-hand side. Does Dalman get the start?
No,
I would start Dalman, yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, like, if he doesn't get a chance on Wednesday, then I don't know when he does.
Yeah, but he's an impact sub now. He's an impact player. I don't know.
How do we know he's an impact sub when he
man.
hasn't even come off the bench?
I'll give him a go in this game.
Came off the bench against Leeds and won a penalty for us. Came off the bench against Liverpool. Came off the bench against Port Vale. I think
how many minutes did he have against Leeds? And furthermore, we were like 4-0 up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how do we know he's an impact sub when he's not really had the opportunity to make an impact off the bench? Because he didn't really make an impact against Leeds, did he? We were 4-0 up. So this is his opportunity to start.
I would rest Saka and I'll start him on the right.
Saka will start this one.
Yeah, Saka will start this one. He will start this one. Remember, he was ill, so he will need to gain some fitness, maybe like 60 minutes before Dalman.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it like even the Port Vale game, Dalman didn't even start, did he? Came off the bench.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No.
Dalman's also 15, right? I mean, he is 15 years of age. I think we need to be really careful. I think he's exciting. I think he's a really good player, but he's 15. But also, when you're looking at the number of changes being made in this game again, if you say if you were going Saliba and Gabriel, say, and, Zubimendi and Rice were both starting, then you might be looking at Dalman as well. If Gyökeres or Havertz was available, But I think with the number of changes being made, I don't see Dalman starting. And I think you do need 2 or 3 of your best 11, and I don't necessarily believe Arsenal have a best 11 anymore, because I think such is the quality, you can chop and change based on your position. But for the sake of this argument, I mean, Saka is in your best team regardless, right? And I just think you need 3 or 4 of those. And at the moment, we have Gabriel, Zubimendi, Saka's the other one.
Mm-hmm.
You can argue Lewis Skelly, but obviously he's not.
but he's injured.
Yeah, I miss Madueke for these types of games, man. He
Yeah.
would have been perfect to come in, wouldn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And but what I do think is you start Saka, and at 60 minutes, 65 minutes, down
Bring them
McCallum.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair,
Obviously, Trossard will be the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't have any other person we can put on that position.
Well, you could move Ezo in there, but I think Trossard starts, particularly against his old club, and he's got a bit of a bone to pick with him, and he still.
Well,
He still wasn't happy about the way he left.
Yeah, especially the way he left. He had that beef with them and stuff. So you might want to, cook. So I think we should latch on to that.
Yeah. So there we have it, guys. Let's do the predictions. I'm gonna go 2-1 to Arsenal. Anthony, what are you saying, man?
3-1.
3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Dom.
I don't want to.
Yeah, fair enough. That good prediction again that Dom don't like every single game.
I have a horrible feeling it's 1-1 and it's penalties.
Oh no.
And that's the first time I've called Arsenal to lose this season. I really badly hope I'm wrong.
Lose on penalties, you're saying?
Yeah, I have a horrid feeling it's going penalties.
we've got Kepa in it, so yeah.
Yeah, can we not bring on Tim Krul?
Fair enough. Rory.
Oh my days! I really don't want to predict this result, but I'm gonna go 1-0 Arsenal. Just be boring, innit?
1-0, clean sheet again. Why not?
Yeah, but Brighton. I don't see us keeping a clean sheet if we're going to completely makeshift the back four. So I don't know.
And at some point, someone's going to have to score against us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if anyone's going to score against us, it's probably in the Carabao Cup, to be honest.
It's probably Danny Welbeck as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck's sake.
What I really hope, though, is that Brighton come out at us. Because what I really want to see is what happens when a team comes out against us. How do Arsenal react and respond? The other thing is I just also want to point out that when I eventually do my preview show on Wednesday, which I haven't recorded yet because I've given this no thought, but I've done this on the fly, there may well be changes to my 11 and my scoreline prediction when I've actually thought about it more.
I swear, if you put in Capia at centre-back...
No, well, as I said, though, one of Hincapié or Mosquera starts because whichever, depending on Saliba or Gabriel. If Saliba starts, you can start Hincapié. If Gabriel starts, then you start Mosquera because I think they're the right and left.
Yeah,
I think
Let's go probably put Dalman in on the right-hand side as well.
That I won't be doing.
Yeah.
Although I might just do it just for kicks and giggles now.
Because I feel the Capia should start this game. I mean, I don't think, obviously, with the way the Premier League is going, is Calafiori, Timber, Gabriel, and Saliba, yeah? But Hincapié should start this game. I'm guessing maybe left back. Well, it's Kelly comes to midfield, but let's see how that goes.
I just think it's, against Welbeck as well, if he does start on Wednesday, I was going to say at the weekend, on Wednesday, the form he's in, I don't know, like, Hincapié, considering he's come back from injury, is he going to be able to handle that sort of physicality? I mean, let's be honest, like, he's not really the tallest centre. He's not the strongest centre back, is what I'm trying to say. Not the tallest.
He's quite a physical chap, isn't he?
No, he's quite physical, though.
Who's this?
Hincapié.
Oh, mate, he's Ecuadorian, bro. He's mate, they don't mess about, man.
It's only a bit. For Leverkusen, if you watch the last game between Ecuador and Argentina, they drew 0-0. The guy was the man of the match that day, and he was just bossing these guys out there.
What we don't know is how he reacts to the speed of the Premier League. I know this is a Carabao Cup game. That's what we don't know, but I'm not worried about his physical assets for sure.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not like worried about his. No, sorry. I'm not saying I'm worried about his physical side of things, but it's just, the fact he's come back from injury and
how he gets up to speed.
Yeah.
What you mean? Yeah. I think that's where I was talking earlier. Again, it will depend on who's fit. It's where if you want to start in Capia, I'd almost rather start him against Burnley when he might be Calafiori, him, Saliba, and Timber. There's your back four, rather than White, Mosquera, Hincapié, Miles Lewis-Skelly, and it's not that those other three aren't as good. I mean, obviously they're not as good as, but you know what I mean. It's not that they're bad players, but it's about at least you've got three that have played together regularly, rather than him coming in to a brand new four that have never played together. You know,
I think you play Hincapié at left back against Burnley. To be honest with you,
yeah, that's the other option. Is you bring him in and start him there
instead of Calafiori, because you don't know with Calafiori, like that the guy will break down at any point, and I don't actually know if he's. Obviously, got injured against Palace, didn't he? So
he got a knock against Palace.
Yeah,
he may not be fit at the weekend. So
I suspect they're minor knocks, but you never know. You just don't know. Odegaard's didn't look that, in some ways didn't look that serious on his knee. It was just a knee-to-knee contact, and suddenly he's out for 6-8 weeks.
Yeah, was it Calafiori's knee again?
I don't know what Calafiori's knee was. I don't know if it was his knee or what it was. I just know he got a knock at the weekend.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I can remember the event when he even got the knock, but when he was about to leave the pitch for Hincapié, he was kind of limping a bit. It was clear that something was wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
I guarantee they won't appear in the training photos.
Yeah. As always. Yeah.
That's what.
But yeah, there we have it, guys. Thank you everyone so much who watched the podcast today. Let's big up everyone where they can find Anthony. Starting with you, bro. Let everyone know where they can find you.
Oh yeah, so I'm all about Arsenal. I've been doing this since June or July, and so far we're closing on 2,000 subscribers. Still growing, I'm so grateful for the journey I've been doing so far, and I'm very grateful to the opportunity to be in a podcast like this with folks that already began ahead of me. So see you guys soon.
Yes. By the way, all the links will be in the description, guys, with the video, the ads, and all that, where you can find everyone there. Rory, where they can find you, man, and you got anything coming up?
Well, everyone knows where I am, so like, silly question, really.
My Spotify listeners don't. I've got this on Spotify now, people. I'm going to try and get this on Spotify. So
has it really been like that long since the podcast, and you just acted like everyone's forgotten who I am and shit?
Nah. We want to know what's coming up, man.
Well, yeah, basically, there should be an episode of the Gunner's Corner tomorrow. Not I'd be able to do it tonight, but yeah, tomorrow should be happening because I've not done one in ages, so I've got to get that up and running again. I guess I'll have obviously a few videos here and there, as well as obviously match reaction for the Arsenal Brighton game in the Carabao Cup, and then obviously Burnley at the weekend. Although I'm gonna have people around, aren't I, for fucking Halloween? So yeah, I don't know. Like, I'll try my best to feed some time and do a match reaction, or just a quick one, like 2 minutes or something like that. Where everyone bloody bombards my house. So yeah, that's about it, really.
Last but not least, Dom.
Well, I mean, when I rise to inevitable power as Supreme Leader of the Universe, I am, of course, banning Halloween. Absolutely awful event. Should never be allowed. So that's just cost me my entire American subscriber list. So that's me down 20 subs. I have roughly. Most days I have a short out. I haven't decided what tomorrow is going to be on because it's been a fairly quiet day. But there will be a match preview on Wednesday, which might be the next short that comes out, but depending on when this is going out. Funny enough, there'll be a match preview on that and a match reaction. But you can catch me with shorts most days of the week. So short by name, short by nature.
There we go.
You've just read my script, haven't you? For what I just said.
I wasn't listening. What?
I bet you've just read my bloody script of what I said.
Don't do scripts.
Like 5 minutes ago. I am match reaction, this match reaction, that.
I just generally react to the news, or I have an idea. I literally go, I need to do a video, and I pick up my phone, record whatever's in my head, and put that out the next day.
Yeah, but you don't have to do the match reaction. Just sometimes you also do a watch along too. You have the time to do it. There are sometimes watch-alongs are fun too. I've tried a couple of watch-alongs, and I think that's why I got the most hits or something like that. Of course, but they might use the Gyökeres video. But most times, match reactions are always fun because they are like genuine. You just came off the game, you have that emotion of what you just want to pour out there. And of course, match previews too, stuff like that.
Definitely.
So it's consistent, and there's always content for all Arsenal. So the wheel keeps going, man.
Definitely, man.
Honestly, I genuinely nearly about one video a week I have to restart because I mess it up. But otherwise, they all genuinely one take whatever's in my head, just job done.
Yeah. Fair play, mate. Honestly, that takes a lot of skill. I can't even lie to you, Dom. Like,
it's because I talk rubbish for a living, so therefore it's easy to do.
So you just put out fine then.
But yeah, thanks everyone who watched, guys. On the road to 20k for myself. Make sure you're new watchers, subscribe. Big up, people. And as always, come on, you Gunners. We'll catch you guys next week for another pod after the Burnley game. And I think is it Slavia and Champions League on the Tuesday?
Slavia Prague.
Slavia Prague on the Tuesday.
It's why Zubi took that tactical last week.
Yeah. I remember.
Oh no, I'm missing the Slavia game. Oh
no,
I'm going to definitely be available for Bayern. Oh well, these things happen.
Take care, everyone.
Maybe pick up another suspension, innit?
And we'll catch you guys in the next one.